Hello, people. How y'all doing out there? Welcome this Sunday evening. Unlock with Daryl Davis. Here I am, people, going to bring you some legal news of the week. To all my brothers and sisters out there, I thank you all. But first, I would like to thank Dr. Candace Matthews uh, and our Chief Cornell X. Thank you all both for coming to Tyler, Texas to help us ratify a problem that has been going around for the last 179 years, and not many people have been willing to stand up to address the problem. Shout out to our CEO, Cornell X, and Dr. Candace Matthews for coming to Tyler to help us rectify a problem. I am Daryl Davis of Equality and Justice for All, DLD. Thank the new Black Panther Nations for coming out. Has been such a grave problem through the decades of Smith County, the city of Tyler. We will start this off by uh, shouting out two families. One of them is the Lathan family out of Lindale, who have successfully moved forward in filing litigation against the Smith County Sheriff Department and several officers, including the sheriff. And they're asking for the sheriff to resign. Yes, Sheriff Larry Smith has been asked to resign in this lawsuit. I am coming forth to ask that Police Chief Tarler, Jimmy Tarler, resign of his job as well. I have numbers and I have records. First of all, it was a cover up in the sheriff department dealing with Jonathan Layton out of Lindale, who was fatally shot in front of his family uh, after turning around showing the sheriff his back, allegedly with his hands in the air. We also want to shout out Miss Wendy Tippett for overcoming summary judgment against the officer Shane Iverson that maliciously killed her son. We had the pleasure of following Miss Delia Gray and also the Phillip boys, Derek and Lance Phillips, to Henderson to demonstrate on behalf of Mrs. Tippett. Um, I was able to interview Mrs. Tippett that day on Unlocked Potential. Now, on Unlock with Daryl L. Davis, we have a whole lot of unlocks going on that need to be on. But Unlock Potential and Unlock with Daryl L. Davis are two different entities. But on Unlock with Daryl L. Davis, we was able to advocate on behalf of Mrs. Wendy Tippett, only because Miss Delia Gray, a former advocate of Tyler, now I think she lives. Well, I won't disclose her location where she lives. I leave that up to you, Miss Delia, to do that. But just to let the people know that you was one of the ones that spearheaded the Wendy Tippett, the soccer with her son, uh, Timothy Randall, and and the Phillip brothers. As you know, Lance was just found guilty last week, sentencing to be postponed later. It's a lot of people that we want to shout out to at this time, but we want to get back to what's going on here in Smith County with our police department and our city council and the leaders in this town. It appears that we don't have any leaders in this town, people. As you know, that about this time a year or so ago, I was going pretty hard on the leaders and the preachers, the NAACP, and anybody that I saw fit that wasn't trying to roll with justices. Uh, we have people that claim to be prophets. Prophets was created to stop injustices, to stop the misuse of people. not to go around being a tarot card reader. People, we don't know what we were created for and what we was created to do. This episode tonight was supposed to be moderated to where we could take questions. Um, we have issues like the Breonna Irwin incident that a lot of people have gave up on because of Mrs. Irvin's actions. They say she's a thief. They say she's a drug addict. They say she's a liar. And they said that she resisted arrest. Out of all of them, I don't believe but maybe one of them is true. Is that she did say that she stole. You said she lied about she claiming to be pregnant. Well, this is a question for all you ladies out there, or women, to clear up for us people, not just you all, but for the men and everyone else that needs to know. If a lady, a woman, misses her cycle for 2 to 3 months, the first thing that goes on in their head is what? That they could be pregnant. Well, Mrs. Irvin fell into that category, allegedly. So we cannot accuse her of lying because she wasn't pregnant. Uh, Dope. She was caught with some dope. 9 out of 10, she may have been a user of these drugs. But my thing is this right here, is that while we persecuting Mrs. Lee for her ways and her actions that she has done, what are we doing about the Dollar Police and their actions and what they did that day? They were so totally wrong at what they did, they refused to release the video. I can affirm to that because when I had an incident with the Tyler Police Department, they refused to release the videos to people regarding me. The NAACP went to view the videos, and they had a sergeant named Sergeant Bowman. Sergeant Bowman told then president of the NAACP, Cedric Granberry, that it was only one video. And in that video, it showed that President Granberry, when he came back to me, he related that, I see that you done everything that you were supposed to do. I said, well, what about the other videos? He said, there ain't no more videos. I said, yes, it is. I said, it's got to be 10 or 12 videos because they had 10, 12, 15 officers out there. And each one of them have to have a video camera on. Well, this became disputable between President Granberry and myself, him not knowing, and I did. A year later, I was called to my attorney office where I seen 15 videos of every officer out there. Why wasn't these videos made to the public? Why wasn't they made to the public? Available to the public? Because it was something that they had to hire. Police Chief Jimmy Toller told me that he's going to believe what his officers say. I didn't have no win after that, people. That alone should have him to resign as chief of police because he's not giving the citizens of this town an opportunity to explain and express their situation. People, this has been going on for 179 years in this town. Right now, we have lawsuits against Deputy Braylon Barnes of the Smith County Sheriff Department. It's several lawsuits against individuals in the Tyler Police Department. Uh, a lot of times when lawsuits are filed, we in the public don't even know anything about them. But not only is we being oppressed by the police, but our leaders, the men that we give our monies to week after week after week, are refusing and failing to protect us. That's right. When you go up and you give your monies to them pastors in them churches, after Sunday you cannot get much out of them. Church is the only place that you take monies that you can't get anything from. If I go to Super One and I give money, I get a product. I get a product. If I go to Walmart and I give monies, I get a product. CVS, the same. Walgreens, the same. Flea market, the same. I give monies and I get a product. I go to church, I give monies, I get nothing but abused. Where I'm from on the north side of Tyler, District 3, we have apartment complexes where grass growed up to our waist. Where is our leader? I get questions all the time. Well, what about District 3 City Council member, Shonda Marsh? Well, Miss Marsh knows how I feel about her, but I'm not here to bash her. She took a job that's over her head, like many people do that's in different organizations. Uh, she is the city council of District 3. If she feel like rectifying the problem, she will reach out. I won't be reaching out to her. Uh, in fact, I think that her seat must be evacuated as well. We have Miss Williams of the NAACP. Again, I'm not here to bash anybody. But to support those sisters, I will say this. Since May the 11th to the present, I don't know of any black men that have stepped up and said anything. No, not one, right? And that's an issue. With everything that we has going on, that is an issue. However, I will say that Miss Williams, Miss Marsh, which is District 3 City Council's person, and also District 2 City Council person, I believe, which is Miss Hawkins. I seen Miss Marsh and Miss Hawkins make a 15-second video about this incident. And they ended it with, we're about to go home and get us something to eat. Miss Williams, she gave her 2 minutes. But nevertheless, they did something. They said something where the male didn't say anything. And I find that ironic that our women and our kids cannot depend on us for protection. Our churches are leading us to oppression. I started going back to church maybe 8 months ago after being felt that things that went on in that church regarding with my situation, that those pastors didn't take it all lightly heavy. They just didn't care them. But I know that in order to make it in life, we have to have boundaries. Even the lakes, the seas, the oceans knows their boundaries. So when I decided to go back to church, I went to Revealed Church to sit up under Bishop Pearson, DeMarcus Pearson. None of us are perfect people, but we may be made perfect through Him, which is Christ Jesus. But I seen my pastor that I sit up under, go and wrap his arms around the police chief in the city of Tyler, trying to make favor with them people to let them know that whatever you doing, it's all right with me. Whatever you doing to those people, I won't say nothing about it. When you're taking pictures and you participating with them and you're not asking for these videos and you're not showing no concern, it's not only you, Bishop Pearson, but it's a lot of these pastors around here. And you have people following you all. And I'm not bashing you, but let's get out of self and start taking care of the people. You have your little things going on, this and that. But hey, what about the people? God took care of the people. Jesus took care of the people. But we want to take care of ourselves. Let's wake up, people. This is Unlocked with Daryl L. Davis. We have a lot of information to share with you all. A lot of information to show you how to protect yourselves. Our glass center pond over there. It's a mess again. Back in August the 14th of 2024, I spoke before City Council about that pond. A few weeks later, it was clean. Now it's back messed up again. They held a fishing tournament out there maybe a month ago where the lady came in. She has a global, well, I say global, but she goes around the United States and she put on fishing tournaments. And this year she partnered with CBS 19. She could have been partnering with CBS 19 for the years that she's been coming. But the reason that I know about the CBS 19 this year is my reporter had contacted me. And he said, I thought you had that glass in the pond cleaned up over there. It would. He said, well, we've been out there in the last 2 days trying to get it clean for this fishing tournament. And when I went out there, it was a mess. People, I can't fight everything. I need some help. But I am willing to stand up and fight. Others that feel the same way I do should be willing to stand up and fight. And I would like to host a weekly live show to give the people the updates on what's being done with law enforcement, with politics, and things of that nature that we need. But we need serious people that wants to get involved, that feel the need to build a better community. Let's be mindful, people. We do not oppose police. We know that we need police. We're not going to make the city of Tyler or its citizens believe that we do not like police. That's just a lie. We are a people that wants to hold police accountable, that wants to hold law enforcement accountable. A lot of things that they do, it turns us away. And when I mean turns us away, let's just use the Breonna Irwin situation for a moment. Mrs. Irwin did what she did. Right or wrong, she did what she did. But in the midst of that, you had 2 officers out there, which I would go on record to say you had over 3 hours of video footage. You had 2 officers that had body cams, and you had 2 car cameras. But Chief Toller, you just showed us 10-second video of a gun going off. And you changed black people's mind to where they threw Miss Irvin under the bus. This is not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a brown thing, green thing, orange thing, or yellow thing. This is a humanity thing. That you have done Miss Irvin wrong in violating your rules and policies and procedures. You have done Daryl L. Davis wrong by violating your rules, your policies, and procedures. James Fulton, you have done Mr. Fulton wrong by violating your policies and procedures. Kerry Max Cook, you have done him wrong by violating your policies and procedures. So collectively, even though that blacks, by numbers, is caught up in the racial disparity of Smith County, by numbers, the oppression is there. But it's not a racial issue. It's a human issue now. And all the bad policing that you have done over the last 179 years, it's not going to continue to go on without being challenged. And we want to start challenging by asking Chief Toller for his resignation. We need new leadership in law enforcement in the City of Tyler Police Department, and it appears that we need it in the Smith County Sheriff Department as well. In the end, the people will speak, and whatever the people speak, we have to ride with. It's just like the presidents. They said the people spoke, we got who they wanted. Now look at them. So we want to be mindful, people, that we just don't ride with police because they police, right? You wouldn't ride with Clyde Barrel and Bunny Parker because they were Clyde Barrel and Bunny Parker, would you? Well, the same goes to the police, man, sir. We don't ride with them because they're police. We ride with them because they're right. And to everybody that would like to make a change, man, reach out to me. Daryl L. Davis, Equality and Justice for All, DLD. We're in the street with the people news. We give the people news that they could use. Whether they use it or not is a whole different thing. But let's be mindful, people. We'll be back with another episode of Unlocked with Daryl L. Davis, where we're going into the streets. And we picking and finding things that should be normal, and they're not. And our policing is one of them. Every time you stop our children or ourselves, Chief Toller, they don't know that they're in an investigation. But I know. You should never stop a person that you stop for a traffic violation and ask them where you been or where you going. The minute you begin to ask those questions, you have just threw us in an investigation. And if we don't answer it according to the way you all want us to answer, then we're in trouble. Young kings and young princes, be mindful of where you at when law enforcement stop you in the street. Be mindful to keep both your hands on that steering wheel and don't ask no questions because they're going to tell you why they stop you. Please know that your battle is not in the streets. It's won in the court. And the only way that you can do that, young kings and princes, is that you got to follow the instructions. You got to follow a plan. And this plan will save your life. Now, in the midst of Mrs. Irwin's situation, I believe she was having a mental breakdown. 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's hot. She may or may not be full of drugs. I don't know. But for an episode and a scene like that to take place a mile or so from that store shouldn't have ended like that, people. But it seemed like that officer was awful aggressive on getting to Mrs. Earl, that he violated multiple policies. And his chief know he violated multiple policies. And all these other officers and all these other agencies know that that officer violated policies. But how many of them stood up to say anything? Most of our black law enforcement officers call themselves preachers. How can you preach and you let your people perish for not having knowledge of the system? And you allow the system to continue to run amok and do your people the way they have been doing them for 179 years. So my question here to the pastors that's on law enforcement, why haven't you said anything about the policy of policing? Why? Why haven't you? Do you know your policies? Do you know your procedures? Or are you just along for the ride? People, we have to do better. We have to stop going at one another and start going at what makes a difference, what's going to make change. Black men, there's a whole lot I could say about us, but I'm not. But just imagine that you letting your wife take your kids around town to fight other kids, and you the man. Very despicable. People will say I'm bashing my people because I'm speaking the truth. Well, people, you can think what you want to think because I'm going to keep speaking the truth. If you don't want to get on board, just stand on the sideline and watch. If you want to get on board, we'll love to have you. But we already know how people are built. Black people, we are emotional people. When our emotions wind down and it all wear off, where are we? We crawl back in our holes. Some of them never should even came up out of them. I'm not your everyday person, people. I move differently, I speak differently. But it's not about bashing those that's not doing anything no more, because bashing ain't gonna get them to do shit. Right? So hey, people, it's a movement here. Join it. We had people that come up out of Houston to try to make it better for us. And since they've been gone, and no one said nothing. But you always gonna have me. Maybe not out front with the mayhem, but I'm here and I'm gonna be effective. And I'm effective for the people. You had one incident that coming around here, I believe back in February 24, where they said emergency personnel was running down Highway 64 like a madman and run over this woman's kids and killed one, left one a vegetable or something like that. Don't want to put the wrong information out. But the people were so afraid of what they was against, they let them get away with it. They said that on this scene, allegedly, that they'll let this emergency personnel go and change clothes after witnesses said that he was reeking badly of alcohol. Came back to the scene and just stood there and looked. That would be failure to render aid. You didn't just hit a carload of people and you just standing there. You're mercy personnel. But people, look what you let them get away with. Again, policy was broken. Procedures was broken. Rules was broken. And you don't say nothing? Who are you, people? What did our forefathers and foremothers die for? That we can just hand this back over the way it is? We don't do that. Let's stay tuned and continue to be uplifted because we got a movement coming. You know, whether they like it or not, we're coming. And we're coming to make a better community for the city of Tyler, for the county of Smith. I kind of like Sheriff Smith, right? But if he have done, covered up wrongdoing, he got to go too, right? Sheriff Smith is, and this is Larry I'm talking about, not JB. Larry is iconic law enforcement in the state of Texas. He was behind the Vance Davidian rage in Mount Carmel outside of Waco, where he authorized those tanks up into that after Janet Reno gave the word. So yeah, he's been involved in quite a bit of law enforcement around the state of Texas. He's iconic, he's well known. But that doesn't mean he can't sit his ass down too. Right? If you really have the Lord in your life and you seek the Lord based on the beliefs, even if it's the beliefs of the Bible, even if it's the belief of the Christianity. Christianity is so messed up, I don't know which way it goes, because in white churches, they don't forgive. Well, why you say that? Them judges come out of their area after worshiping on Sundays, and they come out on Mondays and give a person a life sentence, especially a brother, 60 years. Where's their forgiveness at? They spoke about that in Sunday. They spoke about loving the Lord. And here you is giving a man a life sentence that you don't even know, that hasn't made a victim out of you, but was supposedly had allegedly made one out of someone else. But you give them this time and you never even spoke to the victim about it. Even when you have victims that comes forward and say, I don't want to prosecute, you prosecute anyway. So where's your forgiveness? Now up under black Christianity, y'all tell us that we gotta forgive. And we have. To the point that a white lady went in a black man's house and killed him for eating a bowl of ice cream on his couch. And in her trial, Bolton John's brother begged the judge, could he give Amber Geiger a hug? A moment of racial reconciliation that everybody missed. So don't say we serve the same God, because you mean that we serve the same God and your God got you acting like this here and my God got me acting like that. No, that's not how it works. The Bible said if you don't forgive, you won't be forgiven. And this has been the white man tactics and topic since the beginning of this city. When they used to come out of Marvin, your Methodist Church and First Baptist, which was downtown, and they used to hang black people when they get out of church for no other reason than they can. It's in history, people. So how can you say that we serve the same God in Christianity when the white God won't allow them to forgive, but the black God allow the black people to forgive. Let's wake up, black people. Let's move forward. And not only black people wake up people. Because I have a lot of good white friends that support me. A lot of them. But I believe that they will ride with the system because they're systematic people. Man, we're just going to continue to give God thanks with what he's doing. And we're going to continue to wake up people. People, we need leaders. We need researchers. We need people that's going to go get things to bring back so in order to make this movement special. Enjoy your evening, what's left of it. And we'll be getting back with you next week, people. Peace out. And we will be going live so you will be able to ask questions. And don't ask us what about no city council members and all of them. Direct those questions to them. We're out.